Get ready to see how these 15 Korean drama stars aged like fine wine, from fresh-faced K-drama rookies to seasoned Hallyu icons who might just look even hotter now than they did in their 20s. 15. Hyunbin.
망할 놈이 자본주의 같은.
From soft boy to ultimate leading man, Hyunbin's visuals have only aged upward. In the early 2000s, he stole hearts in My Name is Kim Sam-soon with that clean, boyish charm, flawless skin, striking gaze, and that swoon-worthy smile. By the time Secret Garden came around, he had fully stepped into heartthrob territory. He was taller, leaner, and sharper. His features more defined, his style more refined. The jawline was stronger, the presence more commanding, and that effortless charisma, still intact, just more potent. Now at 42, Hyunbin exudes classic movie star appeal. His face has matured into a more sculpted, masculine version of his younger self. There's a quiet confidence in the way he carries himself now. Whether he's in a military uniform in Crash Landing on You, a tailored suit on the red carpet, or even caught off guard in candid photos, his face has matured like fine wine. More structure, more character, and still just as striking. 14. Sun Ye-jin.
우리 리정혁 씨, 나랑 운명이고 싶은 거야?
그런 거 아니요.
그래. 운명이라고 쳐요.
Nicknamed the nation's first love, Sun Ye-jin has long been known for her pure and delicate beauty. Fair skin, soft features, and gentle doe-like eyes that always look like they were carrying 1,000 emotions. At 43 years old, she's not just one of the most beautiful faces in the industry, she's one of its most respected actresses. Her features had a timeless symmetry, soft yet defined, ethereal yet grounded. And it wasn't just about how she looked, it was the feeling she evoked. That ability to draw you in with a single glance made her unforgettable. Fast forward to today, and Sun Ye-jin hasn't just maintained her visual charisma, she's grown into it. Her visuals now carry more elegance, more poise. The softness is still there, but now it's paired with maturity and quiet strength. Her smile feels warmer, her gaze deeper, and every photo of her, whether on the red carpet or off-duty, shows a woman who has aged with absolute grace. 13. Lee Dong-wook.
그리고 제 작은 성입니다.
라이터, 나 담배 안 피우는데.
평소에 저도 애용하는 모델입니다. 편히 쓰십시오.
If there's one man who's aging like a K-drama vampire, it's Lee Dong-wook. At 43, he somehow looks exactly like he did in his 20s, maybe even better. Sharp jawline, still lethal, mesmerizing gaze, still making fans pause every time he stares into the camera. He first rose to fame in the mid-2000s as the charming and boyishly handsome lead in My Girl. With floppy brown hair, clean-cut features, and a mischievous smile, he instantly became everyone's second-gen K-drama crush. But as he aged, so did his roles, and Lee Dong-wook leaned into it. Visually, he's aged with almost supernatural grace. These days, he's all sharp suits, sleek hair, and that quiet intensity that makes you lean in just to hear what he'll say next. He's no longer the pretty boy you had a crush on, he's the grown man you can't look away from. 12. Ji-hyun.
그러니까 내가 상식도 없고 개념도 없다 이거잖아요. 지금 무개념 무뇌 보톡스 니네는 보톡스 맞았냐 주름도 없을 거다 뭐 그 얘기잖아요 지금.
At 43 years old, Ji-hyun remains the gold standard for timeless beauty, fierce charisma, and effortless screen presence. Most fans met her through the legendary film My Sassy Girl back in 2001. And let's be real, that role changed the game. With her wild charm, chaotic confidence, and high ponytail attitude, she was nothing like the soft-spoken leads we were used to. She was unpredictable, hilarious, and completely magnetic. In her early years, Ji-hyun was known for her tall, statuesque frame, porcelain skin, and sharp model-esque features. But while her visuals stayed legendary, her acting only got stronger. She returned to the small screen with My Love from the Star, playing a spoiled, glamorous actress, and somehow making her both ridiculous and lovable. And even now, her beauty is in demand. Luxury brands still line up to have her as their face. Whether it's high-end fashion, cosmetics, or luxury lifestyle campaigns, Ji-hyun continues to dominate Korea's CF queen status like it's her birthright. 11. Song Ye-kyo.
날 찾아낼
아닐 수도 있고 여전히 염치가 없을 수도 있지만 자식 인생 망친 년이랑 편은 먹지 말았어야지.
Some actresses age gracefully. Song Ye-kyo, she transcends time. At 43 years old, she remains one of the most revered faces in the Korean entertainment world, not just for her acting, but for a beauty that's so timeless. Even her old photos go viral. She first captured the nation's heart in the early 2000s with Autumn in My Heart and Full House. Back then, her visuals were soft yet striking, eyes that hold 1,000 feelings, a perfectly symmetrical face, and a quiet elegance that seemed untouched by trends. Scroll back to any of her earlier magazine shoots or press photos. She looked like a porcelain doll come to life. That perfectly balanced bone structure, delicate features, and luminous skin made her the ideal muse for both melodramas and luxury brands alike. But while her visuals were undeniably captivating, her talent made people stay. She was never just a pretty face. There's something about her presence, poised, regal, and untouchable. She started as Korea's sweetheart, evolved into a global star, and now stands as the ultimate embodiment of longevity, grace, and flawless beauty. 10. Kim Nam-gil.
빨리 나오라고!
Kim Nam-gil didn't start out with that polished matinee idol image, but that's exactly what makes his transformation so captivating. In his early roles like Queen Seon-deok in Bad Guy, he had this raw, manly charm. Messy hair, deep-set eyes, and a mysterious aura that made him stand out. Back then, he wasn't the pretty boy type, and he didn't need to be. His sharp features, expressive gaze, and lean frame gave him this dangerous, magnetic edge. He looked like someone with a story, and fans couldn't look away. Now in his 40s, Kim Nam-gil has only become more striking. He's traded in the rebellious edge for a more refined, quietly powerful look, tailored fits, slicker styling, and that same calm intensity that's become his signature. His face tells stories even before he speaks, and his presence has only gotten stronger with time. From dark thrillers to emotional dramas, he carries every role with a cool, commanding charisma. 9. Gong Hyo-jin.
남의 집에서 참 잘 주무시네.
Gong Hyo-jin has always had a beauty that's both elegant and effortlessly cool. When she first appeared in dramas like Sang-do, Let's Go to School, and Thank You, she had that fresh, natural charm. Long limbs, radiant skin, and the kind of expressive eyes that drew you in with just one glance. She had the kind of face that came alive with emotion, warm, expressive, and real. Her unique style and laid-back vibe made her feel approachable, even while stealing every scene. As she took on more iconic roles, from Pasta to Master's Son, her beauty only became more captivating. She could go from quirky to glamorous in a heartbeat, with a face that lit up the screen and an aura that felt totally magnetic. Now in her 40s, Gong Hyo-jin is the definition of timeless. She looks just as stunning today, glowing skin, graceful presence, and that same effortless poise. 8. Jo In-sung.
미안했다. 내가 있어도 넌 어쩌면 별 수 없이 눈이 아팠겠지만.
When Jo In-sung first appeared on screen, he looked like he walked straight out of a romance manhwa. Tall, lean, with delicate features, and that almost too perfect smile. In early dramas like Piano and Something Happened in Bali, he had that youthful softness. Slightly boyish, effortlessly cool, and with a gaze that could switch from tender to tortured in a heartbeat. But even then, he wasn't just another pretty face. There was a quiet depth in how he moved, how he delivered lines, how he made silence speak louder than dialogue. Now in his 40s, Jo In-sung's looks have matured like fine art. His face has more structure, sharper jawline, broader presence, and his aura is pure sophistication. Whether he's wearing a three-piece suit and moving, or just standing still in a close-up, there's something cinematic about him. Jo In-sung proves that growing up only sharpened his visual appeal and cemented him as one of K-drama's most magnetic leading men. 7. Gong-yu.
얼굴 보고 통화하자며.
그러니까 얼굴이 안 보이는데?
너 기에다 갖다 댔어? 떼봐.
Some actors grow older. Gong-yu, he evolved into a legend. At 46 years old, he's still one of the most effortlessly charismatic stars in Korean entertainment. And somehow, the older he gets, the more powerful his presence becomes. In the early 2000s, Gong-yu had the perfect combination of boyish charm and romantic lead energy. tall, lean, and always flashing that warm, cheeky smile. But it was Coffee Prince in 2007 that changed everything. With his messy hair, rolled-up sleeves, and chaotic but lovable energy, Dong-wook became the face of K-drama romance. He wasn't the polished chaebol heir. He was the slightly scruffy, emotionally confused man who made you fall in love against your better judgment. Now in his mid-40s, Dong-wook has shifted from playful charm to emotional gravitas. His face is more mature, slightly rugged, more grounded, but still striking. There's a calm confidence in how he carries himself, whether he's playing a weary warrior in the Silent Sea or making a surprise cameo in Squid Game. 6. Nam Gung-min.
도대체 왜?
If there's one actor who aged like fine wine and leveled up in talent with every passing year, it's Nam Gung-min. Now 47 years old, he's not just admired, he's respected and maybe even feared, depending on the role. Back in the early 2000s, Nam Gung-min often played the charming best friend or quiet second lead. He was good-looking, no doubt, with heart-melting gaze, a lean frame, and that almost shy smile. But for years, he was underrated. But everything changed when he started embracing darker, more intense roles. Suddenly, that soft smile turned sinister, and audiences loved it. Since then, both his image and acting style have evolved. He's embraced a sleek, more mature aesthetic. Tailored suits, slicked back hair, and a gaze that could cut glass. But some things haven't changed. His warm smile and intense eyes remain constants. They've become his secret weapon, allowing him to shift seamlessly between menacing, charming, and soulful personas. 5. Jeon Do-yeon.
영지야, 영지야, 내 친구 영지야.
Jeon Do-yeon has always carried herself with an air of quiet elegance, and her beauty has never been loud, but it's the kind that lingers. In her early projects like Lovers in Prague and You Are My Sunshine, she had soft, unassuming features and an almost fragile grace. But when the camera rolled, her face could hold entire storms of emotion without saying a word. Now in her 50s, Jeon Do-yeon is nothing short of regal. Her features have matured into sharper angles, and there's a quiet strength in the way she carries herself, like a woman who's seen and felt everything and doesn't need to prove a thing. Whether she's headlining Cannes-worthy films or dominating Netflix dramas like Crash Course in Romance, her allure, like her acting, has only deepened with time. 4. Lee Jung-jae.
두 번째 게임은 설탕 뽑기입니다. 선택하신 모양은 여러분이 뽑아야 할 모양입니다.
좋겠다.
Long before Squid Game turned him into a global name, Lee Jung-jae was already a certified heartthrob in Korea. In the 90s, he was the leading man every teen drama wanted, tall, lean, and strikingly handsome, with that side-swept hair and a smile that felt both shy and confident. Roles in Sandglass, Feelings, and An Affair cemented him as a household name, and fans couldn't get enough of his brooding charm and model-like visuals. Now in his 50s, his look has evolved into something even more commanding. The youthful softness has given way to a chiseled, mature elegance. The jawline is sharper, the energy cooler, the stare more intense. Whether he's playing morally gray characters or suiting up as a director, Lee Jung-jae proves that true star power and timeless appeal doesn't fade. 3. Kim Yi-soo. In her 20s, Kim Yi-soo was pure screen magnetism. With sharp cheekbones, bold lips, and piercing gaze that carried both mystery and mischief, she embodied the classic femme fatale before the trope even had a name in K-drama land. Her early roles in films like First Love and Taza amplified that sultry, confident beauty. She was glamorous, curvy, unapologetically powerful, and decades ahead of her time in redefining what a leading lady could look like. But what's truly striking is how that beauty evolved. Kim Yi-soo didn't cling to youth. She grew into it. In Signal, her face had matured with character, more refined, more grounded, but still piercing. In Hyena, she balanced fierce visuals with slick charisma, her sharp bob, sculpted jawline, and fierce gaze making her look like a fashion-forward CEO you'd never dare cross. And in The Queen's Umbrella, adorned in regal handbox and minimal makeup, her natural features shone with grace and strength. Today, Kim Yi-soo is in her 50s, and still, her visuals command the same awe. Not because they stayed the same, but because they evolved. From seductive to stately, from glamorous to formidable. Aging for her hasn't dulled anything. It's refined her beauty into something truly iconic. 2. Lee Byung-hun.
얘들아, 그 밥 먹다 말고 뭐 하는 짓이야 이게? 밥 먹을 때 이러는 거 아니야? 여기 어르신들도 많은데 버르장머리 없이 거기다 두 놈이 한 사람을 창피하지도 않아?
In his younger years, Lee Byung-hun had that sharp, classic leading man charm. Intense gaze, a sculpted jawline, and a smirk that hinted at just the right amount of trouble. He had the clean-cut, boyish appeal of a textbook heartthrob. From his romantic lead days in Beautiful Days to the sly anti-hero in All In, his visuals were always striking. Rugged, charismatic, and effortlessly magnetic. But with time, that boyish charm evolved into something deeper. An air of quiet power and presence. His face now carries a lived-in quality. Fine lines and a slightly weathered look that add character without diminishing his attractiveness. His eyes remain a focal point, conveying intensity and depth, while his smile still holds that familiar charm. As fans often say, he's one of the greatest actors with an epic screen presence. And when paired with his commanding performances in Mr. Sunshine, Our Blues, and I Saw the Devil, it's clear that every wrinkle added weight to his already strong screen presence, turning him into one of those rare actors whose visuals and presence only grew stronger with time. 1. Jung-hwa.
오늘이 내가 지내는 마지막 제사야. 우리 이혼하자.
In an industry obsessed with youth, Jung-hwa redefined what it means to grow older in the spotlight, proving that beauty, confidence, and power only deepen with age. In the 90s, she was a trailblazer, a pop icon with bold fashion, expressive eyes, and an aura of playful sensuality. Back then, her look was magnetic, glowing skin, sculpted features, and a gaze that could flirt, challenge, or captivate, all in the same frame. But what's remarkable is how decades later she still turns heads, not because she's trying to look young, but because she's evolved into something richer, more refined. Now in her 50s, Jung-hwa is the textbook definition of aging like fine wine. Her beauty has matured into a captivating mix of grace and strength. Those magnetic stares still steal the show, but now they carry the weight of experience. Her smile radiates the same warmth, but with a quiet confidence that only time can bring. Her once youthful sensuality has transformed into a poised, powerful allure that feels completely effortless. She's proof that beauty in your 50s isn't about holding on to the past. It's about stepping fully into your power. Like the finest vintage, she's complex, unforgettable, and only gets better with time. Click on this video to find out if your favorite tall glass of fine wine made it into our list of the top 100 most talented Korean actors. And trust us, you'll never guess who didn't make the cut.